CSGO Overwatch was one of the most inventive anti-cheats in the history of gaming. This was a system unique only to CSGO and not found in any other game. The idea behind it was to allow the community to police itself. This system was set up because there was just far too many games to police for just one person or the anti-cheat department of Valve to police it all. And truth be told, in the more difficult cases, the detective work could be a lot of fun. But without warning, it was removed right after the announcement of Counter-Strike 2. Which leads us wondering, why was it removed, and is it coming back? This video will answer all of your questions talking about all of this and more right after this video's sponsor. Skins.Cash is an instant cash-out platform for selling CSGO, Dota 2, Rust, and Team Fortress 2 skins with just a few clicks. On Skins.Cash, you will find the best prices for instant sale and more than 10 ways to withdraw your money. For example, 5 different crypto wallets, bank transfer, and other payment systems. Skins.Cash will pay out instantly, no more waiting for people to buy your skins. To receive money for your skins, select your skin, select payment method, and click Get Cash Now. Oh, and don't forget to confirm the deal with SteamGuard. After that, the money will be transferred to your account. Everything is that simple. Skins.Cash has 24/7 support, over 8,000 positive reviews on Trustpilot, and nice bonuses with which you can get even more money. Skins.Cash has the best prices for instant withdrawals, and with the link in the description, you will receive a bonus from me, plus 3% for transactions made through the link. So what are you waiting for? Check out Skins.Cash today. Overwatch was a pretty fun system when you think about it. You got to go and review demos and determine if someone was cheating or legitimate. Then after the case was over, you would go and report it as such. This gave you 4 different categories to report upon: aim assistance, vision assistance, other external assistance, and griefing. Now obviously the first 3 were far more important, being major disruption, whereas the final one was just considered minor disruption, and as such, each one would have a different punishment. Minor disruption reports would only lead to a temporary ban, at least for the first 2, while major disruption would lead to a permanent ban. Now early on, there was a big issue with this system, and that was that you would get a lot more legitimate cases than you would people that were cheating or hiding cheats. So even though early on the system seemed to be working as intended, they wanted to increase the productivity of Overwatch, so they introduced an AI system. Now at first it didn't really look like the AI system was doing anything, and that's because it took a while for it to train up. And to be completely honest, it trained up pretty well, detecting a lot of cheaters. But instead of having the AI system ban cheaters outright, what it would do is it would prioritize these cases and send them out to the Overwatch system. And of course, the easiest cases for the AI to really detect was full-on rage hack spin botting cases, which means seemingly out of nowhere, Overwatch got flooded by spin botting cases. So many, in fact, that it was rare to see anything else. But despite this, there were still a lot of spin botters in competitive matches. Now there are a few reasons for this, and that is because at the same time, Counter-Strike Global Offensive was free to play. And not only was it free, if you played enough games, you could grind Prime status. The other reason was how the Overwatch system worked in general. Now to get Overwatch, you had to have at least 150 wins and be a rank of at least Gold Nova or higher. So definitely not the hardest qualifications. Now, if you went inactive for too long, you would lose the ability to do Overwatch, so you needed to play at least 1 game a month. This is just because if you don't play at least 1 game a month, you revert back to the status of unranked. Now, just because you had Overwatch doesn't mean you had a direct significant impact on if a cheater got banned or not. The reason behind this was to try to prevent people from putting in false reports to ban legitimate players, and of course negative reports on cheating players. This means in theory, if you're reporting not enough evidence on spin botters, your vote would count less and less. This was considered your investigator score. Now how would they determine the accuracy of your vote and if someone got banned? Well, on their website it says investigators score positively for agreeing with the majority of other investigators' verdicts for the same replay, and score negatively for being in the minority. Now if you think about it for a moment, you can understand how flawed this system really is. But we'll come back to this later in the video. Now, after cheaters completely oversaturated the player base, and the average rank in the United States dropped down to gold, Valve realized they needed to do something. So they made it so you could no longer grind out Prime for free. You actually had to buy it. They also updated the AI anti-cheat and made it so it would take care of the majority of spin botting cases by itself. This was actually a major improvement, not just for matchmaking, but also for Overwatch. And most people from matchmaking were able to resume their original ranks, and as for Overwatch cases, we started to get a little more variance. Yes, you would still get the occasional spin botter case, but for the most part, you wouldn't have to deal with people using anti-aim. It turns out this was one area that the AI anti-cheat was very good at detecting. Sadly, you would still get complete rage hackers. And that was the majority of cases. Though you would get the occasional legit hacker, it was very rare and far between, even though those are the ones that really required a little more analysis to really find out if they were cheating. Still though, regardless of the majority of cases being so blatant that anyone should be able to tell that these people were cheating, accounts weren't getting banned. So what was going on? Now luckily for us, Valve actually answered this when they flew in a few players to test out CS2 before it was publicly announced. According to Flom and Sparkles, cheaters had found a way to prevent people from getting banned from the Overwatch system. They did this by creating a ton of accounts that would oversaturate the reports with negatives. And since Overwatch used a majority system, the majority was saying that these players weren't cheating, which means that cheaters weren't getting banned. But it also had another negative effect, and this was on the legitimate investigators. Because they were reporting that the cheaters were cheating, and the majority was saying they weren't cheating, this was having a negative impact on their investigator score. So much so that it would essentially bottom out any legitimate Overwatcher, making it so their reports no longer counted. So shortly after, with the announcement of CS2, they removed Overwatch from CSGO. So I guess the question now is, will Overwatch return for CS2? Now, I've been looking at CS2 leaks for years, and through those leaks we were able to find out about stuff like the buy menu way before it was released and announced. On the anti-cheat side of things, we were able to find out about VAC Live, which seems to be a real-time AI-driven anti-cheat that should ban cheaters mid-game. We even saw a good example of that recently. But so far, no mention of Overwatch returning, which is a shame because sometimes cases were actually pretty fun to do. But remember, this system was not ever meant to be just another game mode. This was meant to serve as an anti-cheat, and because of that, I don't see Overwatch returning. Seems, at least as for now, Valve is pretty sold on the reliability of VAC Live being able to do what it's intended to. Though we won't know for sure until Valve decides to open it up and allow more players to play CS2 in the future. I hope you guys found this video informative, and as always, have a great day.